This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, the Otago Yacht Club is pleased to have slashed a $100,000 pontoon project to a third of its possible cost. The Cantabrian Greyhound trainer was among the dog breeders giving their animals a run at Forbury Park Raceway this week. And an Englishman is stranded in Dunedin but is managing to occupy his time with golf. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Sophie Morris. Members of the Otago Yacht Club are celebrating the arrival of a sustainable pontoon. Original estimates had the project costing more than $100,000, but thanks to some generous people, it's set to cost a fraction of that.
After a year and a half of research, planning and negotiation, Otago Yacht Club's new pontoon floats into position.
2 years ago we were doing some dredging and we sunk one of our pontoons. The insurance paid out on that and we've been doing some pricing for the last 18 months on what to do.
The Yacht Club's Barry Gibbs says the new pontoon was installed yesterday and was expected to cost more than $100,000. But the club found a creative solution involving old crane legs.
We approached Port Otago to find out what they're going to do with them, and the end result was that they donated them to us.
Gibbs says the club is grateful to Port Otago for the donation of the legs, which were then taken to Dunedin's Action Engineering to be welded into a watertight pontoon. He says necessity was the main reason they arranged to get the pontoon made.
Basically why we need more pontoonages. Over the summer period we get a lot of visitors from all around New Zealand, overseas and everything to come and stay here, and it becomes a real shortage berthage because there's nothing else in Dunedin.
He says spending around $35,000 on the pontoon is just affordable for the club without them having to apply to funding organisations. The pontoon isn't the only major purchase for Otago Yacht Club, as the organisation has also been buying more sailing vessels.
Because we've spent a lot of money, we've brought some a new rescue boat last week, and we've brought some what they call open class skiffs, which a lot of people probably know them as the Bicks. We've brought 6 of them for the youth sailing and for sailing school to get going this year. So yeah, we're really spent a bit of money around the place, which is really good.
Gibbs says sailing isn't quite as popular as it was during its heyday, but is increasing in popularity. And the club is focusing on encouraging younger sailors. In Dunedin, the South Today.
The Ministry of Health has bought all the land needed for the main buildings of the new Dunedin Hospital. The Ministry says it did not exceed the $75 million budget to purchase the land. The last 2 sites purchased are the sites of the VTNZ and Wilson parking buildings. 3 other sites remain unowned by the Ministry. These are a University of Otago hostel, a tyre company and an Aurora electricity substation. But these sites are deemed not time critical for the project and are earmarked for use for additional buildings or future expansion. The odds are in your favour when 46 of the greyhounds racing are your own. Yesterday, Canterbury trainer John McInerney won the majority of races at the first Forbury Park race meeting in Dunedin since lockdown.
Greyhound racing came back to Dunedin's Forbury Park yesterday for the first time since a COVID-19 lockdown in March, with Canterbury trainer John McInerney winning 6 of the 10 races. But the high number of wins wasn't a surprise, with McInerney having driven down from Christchurch with 48 dogs that morning.
We started this morning at 3 AM, got up and fed them. They're all rugged at night, so the rugs come off and fed them, and they get a quick pee and we load them up. And we stop at the Bryden and Oamaru for a feed for ourselves. The dogs stop a few times and get out for a walk. And
he says it's a shame the Forbury track hasn't been used more since lockdown, as it's considerably safer for the dogs sprinting around the track.
And we used to come here at least once a fortnight, so yeah, pretty sad. It's a really good track, safe. At Christchurch I probably get 10% of my dogs get hurt, whereas around here be lucky to get 1%, and it's normally a bad surface at Christchurch compared to the 2 southern tracks, which are really, really safe tracks to race.
Back at home he has about 150 greyhounds to be looked after, with the dogs undergoing regular health checks.
The dogs get out twice a day, every day, in the morning and the afternoon. They're fed twice a day. And I have staff. I've got a staff of 6. Normally try and match like one person to 20 dogs, and I've got 3 people full-time just ultrasounding, lasering, checking the dogs, just preparing them, keeping them going for each race meeting.
McInerney says many retired greyhounds become his pets, while some others are rehomed. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Otago's economy took the hardest hit of all New Zealand regions due to the COVID-19 lockdown. Economics consulting firm Infometrics says the country's economic activity dropped by more than 12% per year through the quarter. Otago's economy fell further than others, dropping by almost 16%, with the collapse of the tourism sector hitting local economies. On the bright side, the number of people looking for work increased by 8% in Dunedin, compared to almost 20% nationwide. When UK resident David Hay flew to Dunedin for a summer holiday last November, he didn't imagine he'd still be here now. Making the most of his time stuck in New Zealand, he's become a regular at a local golf course.
Thanks to flight cancellations and border restrictions, retired UK businessman David Hay has had an unexpected extension to his summer holiday in Dunedin.
By March, when we were supposed to be going back via Australia to the UK, of course they closed their borders, so we were stuck. And our visas ran out in May, but fortunately the New Zealand immigration people extended the visa until the 25th of September.
But he says he and his wife are not minding the enforced extension to their time here, with him regularly playing at Dunedin's Balmacewen golf course.
Winter here this time in New Zealand has been particularly mild compared to anything we would get in the winter in Britain.
However, Hay says time is now running out on their already extended visas.
So technically we had an automatic extra 4 months. As we are now in August, of course, we're getting worried that the 25th of September is looming fairly quickly, and we still have no notification from New Zealand immigration as to what they would like us to do. So right now we're facing the prospect of having to go home in September.
Hay says the risk of being infected with COVID-19 during the journey home is a genuine concern.
And that means flying at least 4 occasions. So managing to avoid any contamination from COVID under those circumstances is the big worry that we have. We're not too worried about going back to the UK. We can isolate for a fortnight, we can quarantine, and where we are, in the area that we are, has been fairly COVID-free. Hay believes
he and his wife are just 2 of some 50,000 visitors currently in New Zealand on temporary visas, who will ultimately return to their homes when it's safe to do so. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, we hear the latest in our football chat and our You Choose 2020 political series.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Wrens are Otago's painting, tiling and plastering experts. Offering a free measure and quote, Wrens is a name you can trust to get the job done right. Call Wrens today on 477 9384 or visit wrens.co.nz.
Do you know Youth Grow in North East Valley? It's an awesome plant nursery where young people can work and learn life skills. You can now order your vegetable seedlings, herbs, bulbs and shrubs over the phone or by email. Either pick up your order on Norwood Street in North East Valley or they can deliver to you. Look for Youth Grow Garden Centre on Facebook or visit youthgrow.org.nz. Happy gardening!
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Heaven Sent Pet Cremations knows that losing a pet is like losing a family member, and we have many special ways for you to keep their memory dear to your heart. From caskets, remembrance pendants to remembrance spheres. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Welcome back. With 4 games left in the season, things are heating up in Football South Women's Premier League. This week on Football Chat, Morgan Jarvis talks with league superstars and Roslyn Walkery stalwarts, Jordan Walker and Holly Johnston, whose team is currently sitting in 3rd place.
Welcome to Football Chat. Fortunately, we got a full weekend of senior football in the weekend, despite the level 2 restrictions that came into place. So that was great for everyone in town. Thanks to everyone who played their part in making sure that that could happen across all the clubs. Look, I've got a couple of the stars from the Roslyn Walkery WPL team in with me today. So thanks to Jordan Walker and Holly Johnston for coming in. Holly, you played your 100th game for Roslyn Walkery in the weekend, and wasn't the result that you wanted, was it? But it was quite an interesting game.
Yes, it was. No, it was very special, like with the girls, and my family came watch and stuff. But yeah, like you said, we lost unfortunately. But yeah, it was still a good-ish game.
Great. And Jordan, you've played more than 100 games, I think we could say. I remember writing a wee story a couple of years ago on your 150th game. So another very experienced member of the Roslyn club. And you're still the club captain for the women's club, and on the committee in that as well. And family connection there with, of course, your mum Cheryl's been such a big part of the club and was team manager for a number of the years that you've been part of the team, so you must love that family aspect at the club as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think after I'd been there for a couple of years, I really realised the great decision that I'd made. Initially when I chose Roslyn, it was to follow sort of, you know, Kusha Glover, Sam Muirhead, Una Madden, and then to find myself like within that family culture was just amazing, and just to see it grow over the last couple of years, especially in the women's game. And it's just, yeah, it's an amazing opportunity to be part of this club.
Great. And Holly, big rivalry over the last few years with Dunedin Tech, who have won, I think it's 7 consecutive titles now. I know that you've got a lot of friends in the team that you've played with and against over the years, and I even recall you putting on the tech shirt a few years ago for a national tournament. Can you tell us a bit about that and your relationship with some of the players on that side?
Yeah, well, growing up, like through Otago rep teams and things, I've played alongside a lot of those girls. So really good friends, actually catching up with one of them for lunch after this. So yeah, there was a couple of us who filled in for the tech team when they went away for the national tournament. And we won it one year, and so that was a really fun tournament. And it's always good. Tech, they're great to play, like they're great girls, you know, on the field it's always a tough battle, but afterwards it's always good fun. So.
And the full episode of this week's Football Chat will play tonight after the bulletin, or is available anytime on odt.co.nz. Over the last few days, we've brought you instalments from our You Choose 2020 series, so you can be better informed on both local and national political discussions. In this instalment, we ask local party representatives if they will vote yes in Parliament.
Absolutely, yeah. New Zealand First very in favour of binding referenda, so if the people speak and they say that they want society to go down this path, we would be fully behind it.
I would have to do a lot more research myself. Like I said, you're hearing a range of different views, whether it's, you know, from the fact that it's bad or the fact that it's no issue. So I'm not sure on that.
Certainly. I think we can't continue with an unregulated black market in cannabis. It pushes young people and the most vulnerable into a criminal activity. It is putting people at risk. It's a health issue, and we need to make sure it's regulated by the government.
I would support the yes vote if in Parliament. I think the devil can be in the detail. So what we need to do is look at how we educate people to make healthy choices around cannabis use.
We said that we would honour the referendum result. That's the right thing to do. I think there are a number of concerns from a legal perspective, though, about the regime which the government has proposed. There are a number of holes around, for instance, whether gangs can sell marijuana. It's a big concern in the electorate. You know, there's other mental health concerns and the ability for the mental health system to actually deal with what could be a ginormous problem coming in the track.
And we'll bring you the next instalment of You Choose 2020 in tomorrow night's bulletin, or you can watch the full episode at odt.co.nz. Still to come, NZ Ski turns down an offer from the government's strategic tourism program, and we check out tomorrow's weather.
Do you know Youth Grow in North East Valley? It's an awesome plant nursery where young people can work and learn life skills. You can now order your vegetable seedlings, herbs, bulbs and shrubs over the phone or by email. Either pick up your order on Norwood Street in North East Valley or they can deliver to you. Look for Youth Grow Garden Centre on Facebook or visit youthgrow.org.nz. Happy gardening!
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Wrens are Otago's painting, tiling and plastering experts. Offering a free measure and quote, Wrens is a name you can trust to get the job done right. Call Wrens today on 477 9384 or visit wrens.co.nz. Heaven Sent Pet Cremations knows that losing a pet is like losing a family member, and we have many special ways for you to keep their memory dear to your heart. From caskets, remembrance pendants to remembrance fairs. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Ah, TV, our favourite babysitter. But it can be tough keeping up with what our tamariki are watching. Luckily, the Broadcasting Standards Authority has made some smart changes to the classification labels. Ooh! Plus changes to the time of day certain rated shows will air, and awesome new parental lock features, meaning your babysitter's job is safe. Find out more at safeviewing.co.nz.
Welcome back. NZ Ski has turned down an offer of $500,000 of funding from the government's Strategic Tourism Asset Protection Program. The $500,000 fell short of the $2.7 million the ski company asked for. The company, which owns Coronet Peak, the Remarkables and Mount Hutt, say they are grateful but have respectfully declined the offer. The $500,000 would be insufficient to open Remarkables 7 days a week, and they did not want to take the money and not offer anything back. The company says its declining of the government's offer was not influenced by the negative reactions to AJ Hackett Bungee receiving up to $10 million under the scheme. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. The Otago Yacht Club is pleased to have slashed a $100,000 pontoon project to a third of its possible cost. A Cantabrian greyhound trainer was among the dog breeders giving their animals a run at Forbury Park Raceway this week. And an Englishman is stranded in Dunedin but is managing to occupy his time with golf. And time now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Hayden.
Good evening, Sophie. How are
you?
you?
Good evening. Very good. Yourself?
Excellent, excellent. It's an interesting day. A few bits and pieces floating around. Our lead story tomorrow is more on this big plan to change how St John operates in South Otago. It's really created quite a stir, it's fair to say, and the people of Milton are, I think, up in arms is the phrase that has been used. Firefighters, GPs, extremely concerned that Milton will be losing its paramedic in a sort of centralisation proposal. A petition has started, I believe, that's underway, so we've got all of the latest on that very strong feeling, and tomorrow that'll be our lead story, I think. And a lovely story on the return of a historic piece to Port Chalmers, a time ball of all things, which I suppose a lot of people wouldn't know much about. It is effectively what it says it is. It's a very large 120 kilo stainless steel ball, a timepiece effectively, up on that for years and years and years was up on the hill above Port Chalmers, and it would rise and then drop at 1 p.m. every day,
right.
Is my understanding, and it helped, I guess, some of the sailors at sea set various instruments by that time. It kept the time, and there's been a great sort of project underway by a bunch of keen locals out there to bring one back, and it's finally got put in place today, and quite a spectacular photo showing what the time ball will look like. So I think there'll be a lot of interest in that.
It's a little bit like the New York ball drop.
The ball is dropping.
Yeah.
This could become our new sort of New Year's Eve celebration. Could be very exciting.
Neat.
So that could be interesting. We've got more on Fulden Mar, the historic fossil site, and some research showing the place could be ideal for plant growth and forestry development. An update on the St Paul's Cathedral roof, obviously damaged by fire recently. It's not going to be a short job, it's fair to say. So we've got the latest on that. And a bunch of sort of sports updates. We've got a nice chat to the the two Southern Steel shooters who, now the steel season is over, but the two shooters who suffered almost identical injuries, I think, both recuperating. And a sort of club rugby special, it's a final stage in various parts of the country, and Dunedin is getting towards the end of the season too. And we're also pointing to the start of our next major series. So we just had a series on the cannabis referendum. Now it's the turn of the euthanasia referendum, a very hot topic obviously, lots of arguments for, arguments against. So tomorrow we're introducing the series, and Saturday is sort of part one of three. The cannabis series was very well read, and I'm sure the euthanasia one will be as well, something we all need to learn more about before the referendum.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Hayden. All of that and more in tomorrow's ODT. And time now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Starting with a southern view, Otago Harbour this morning as the fog descends. Looking at the situation, often cloudy and cold with light showers at times for the next few days, including the weekend. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth can expect rain and 12 degrees, while Westport can expect thunderstorms and 12. Across to the northeast, Nelson and Blenheim can expect cloud with 14 degrees in Nelson and 16 in Blenheim. Moving down to Canterbury, Kaikoura can expect cloud and 14 degrees, Christchurch cloud and 12, and Ashburton showers and 11. To the southern towns, the Catlins, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore can expect light winds, some cloud and 10 degrees. In central, Queenstown, Wanaka, Alexandra and Te Anau can expect variable winds and showers, 8 degrees for Queenstown, 10 for Alexandra and 9 in Wanaka and Te Anau. To the northern towns, on the coast, Timaru and Oamaru can expect light winds, cloud and 11 degrees. Inland, Twizel and Omarama can expect variable winds, showers and 9 degrees. In Dunedin, showers developing tonight with an overnight low of 7. Overcast and cold tomorrow with frequent light showers, moderate southwesterly winds, a high of 10 and a low of 7. Similar on Saturday, but a few sunny periods may develop in the afternoon, a high of 12 and a low of 7. And in Invercargill, a period of showers tonight with an overnight low of 6. Fine tomorrow with sunny periods, some clouds and light variable winds, a high of 13 and a low of 6. Cloud increasing and lowering on Saturday with showers developing late in the day, moderate southwesterly winds, a high of 12 and a low of 6. That's all for our news this Thursday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz or follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.